I can't duck from being an influence on my 18 grandkids, so I really felt I had to do something. Yeah. So I figured my first thing I came up with was I can do a skit. Brady did a backflip 4 years ago. So what do I know the best? Well, basketball. So I thought I could teach a lesson to my 18 grandkids.
Allison, let loose.
Anyway, I thought I'd teach a lesson to the grandkids that when you're 14, 15, 12, what you learned at that time stays with you for life. And it could be athletic skills. And so when I was 14, I used to carry a basketball with me to school every day. I was going to be a professional basketball player. I was just set. And I just missed being a college player by 1 foot. Anyway, so I was going to show you that I have not done this in about 60 years. But I haven't even practiced it. Let's just see what happens. Sorry.
That belly's a little bigger than it used to be.
That's my program. And then the big finale is, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try. Ready? It didn't. So anyway, I gave up on that. And then I decided, well, I'm going to tell a really good story that Paul Harvey used to tell every year. And what reminded me of that, this is a squirrel feeder. It's in our backyard. And Diane said, let's get this thing cleaned up and put some food in there so the squirrels go in there so our family sees it. So I did that last week. And a bird went in there. It just crawled in. It was so stupid, it couldn't get out. It was trying to fly. I'm telling you, it could not figure out how to come out. And that reminded me of the story that Paul Harvey used to tell at Christmas time about this guy who was agnostic. And he believed in God, but he said it made no sense that God would become man. So his family went off to Christmas Eve Mass, and he stayed home. And it was a real cold night, picture window, and some birds started hitting the window. And he said, man, they're going to kill themselves. So he went and turned on the barn light, and thinking they're going to fly in there, and they didn't. And then he went to breadcrumbs to see if they would follow it into the barn, and they weren't. They were still hitting it. And then he said to himself, if only I could become a bird to teach them how they should go to safety. All of a sudden it hit him. That's why God became man. Okay. So that's what I was going to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you that. I had an interesting thing. The Lord talks to you if you listen. A little still voice. And my grandkids call me Grandpa Jer, Papa Jer, Grumpy. But Maverick here, he really challenged me. A few months ago, he started calling me Godfather. And I was Godfather, I thought, now that's very unique, I've been thinking about that, And he came to me and said, hi, Godfather. And it just kind of, I've been thinking about that. And, but that still didn't help me, figure out what I'm going to do the next year. Then we drove together. We went, I forget where we went down to get the pizza stuff. Or, no, to go to the, Toboggan Hill. And so this rosary here is sitting in our white car, and Maverick's sitting, I hope it doesn't burn. He says, isn't that the thingy that you say Hail Mary's on? I think I got it. So I'm going to tell a story about the rosary. Okay, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, December 13th, 2013, I had a heart attack. I'm sitting at home alone. I have no idea. I'm having a heart attack. I just played tennis with Marissa 2 weeks earlier. I climbed a mountain with Jim and Diane, and there's no way this kid's got any problem with a heart. And but I had heartburn, and so went to mass, came home, and just was kind of sitting there. Diane was gone. She went to Planned Parenthood to pray, and her routine is always the same. Always the same. Pray at Planned Parenthood. Go get gas at Sam's Club. Go the week's groceries. She doesn't come home until 2 or 3 o'clock. Something, a little voice, something said I gotta get home. No idea to this day why. But she came home. What are you doing here? It wasn't even noon yet. And I said, could you call Dr. Yeager? I've really got bad heartburn. So she dialed the number. She said, well, you tell him. I don't even know, what the problem is. So I called, and they said, you got 911 right now. I said, what? Heartburn? She says, you do what I tell you. Open your door, turn your lights on, dial 911. I felt absolutely stupid, but I did it. And ambulance came, they come in, they wire me up, and they said, oh, your heart looks good. I really felt stupid. They thought, we gotta take you to where you want to go, St. Francis. So we're driving out, talking to them, and I talked about Marissa again. I said, I just played tennis with my grandchild in California just 2 weeks ago. And I knew exactly where we're driving. We're driving down the highway. I said, oh, we're coming up on Woodman now. But we're pulling into the parking lot at St. Francis. The last thing I remember, my heart stopped. No warning. These guys had me wired up, nothing. It just stopped. They gave me CPR. Handed me off to the doctors who were waiting because they had to. It stopped 2 more times. And then the next thing I remember was 24 hours later, they put me on ice. I was totally unconscious. They did emergency stent surgery. And the doctor, when I finally, he came around, he said, you have no idea how lucky you are. He said, most people survive heart attacks. Almost nobody survives a hard stoppage, a cardiac arrest. And so, what I'm thinking is, I started thinking about it. This would have been the night or the day. Diane would have thought we did, but she came home. This would have been my funeral day 3 years ago.
Grandpa had a great ER collection.
I love Grandpa Jer very much. He was kind and funny.
Grandpa Joe was so nice. He always came to see me do things and played ball with me.
Anyway, I started thinking about it. I looked on the internet. Look on the internet once to see what happens when you have cardiac arrest. Less than 5% of people live, and most of the ones that do live get a brain damage. And I started thinking, why? Was I so lucky? You know? And then I started thinking. I say 53 Hail Marys every day with Diane. And the end of it is, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. And I was at the hour of my death. And she was praying for me. And I really think, looking back, that I'm glad I didn't go then. Why? Because I held grudges for a number of people, and I wouldn't want to pass into the next life holding grudges. So I think the reason Maverick asked about that thingy that you do Hail Marys is that I should just emphasize and just tell my grandkids, you're all here, a little bit about it. It was approved by the church 800 years ago. It was said way before then. And there's 53 Hail Marys. The first part of the Hail Mary is straight from Scripture. The first part is from Angel Gabriel. The second part is from Elizabeth. And then Holy Mary, just asking her to pray for you. We're not worshiping her or anything like that, just asking her to pray. The other part of the rosary, if anybody ever asks you, you're Christian, what does that mean? Just say that prayer right there. I believe in God. It tells you everything that you believe as a Christian. Everything. That's all you got to do is say it, and you'll be able to tell people exactly what you believe in. Then there's 6 Our Fathers, 6 Glory Bees. You've got the Trinity, Our Father that the Lord taught us. And then you got the mysteries. There's 20, and it goes through the whole life of Christ. I mean, can anybody tell me a joyful mystery? What's a joyful mystery?
Resurrection?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Annunciation.
Annunciation. That's right. That's when Angel Gabriel, just what we're talking about. So the whole story of Jesus' life is that you get to meditate on that. And so I just felt, thanks to Maverick, that's what I was supposed to talk to you about tonight.
Thank you.
No, literally, I'm here for you. We're not going to stop hugging each other until
Let's go, 18. Hey, there you go. 18.
Oh,